Hey everyone, and welcome to our channel, Three Hands Garden and Outdoors. Today we're going to be relocating and changing out some of these old sprinkler heads. It hasn't rained a lot here in North Florida, and my grass is getting really crispy, so I need to relocate some of the sprinkler heads to be in a little bit more optimized position. Plus, I'm going to be installing some vegetable garden boxes here in the next couple of months, and these old sprinkler heads were right where I want to put the garden box. I need to relocate those to be in a little bit better position. So I'm going to show you what we're working with, and then we'll go get the necessary piping and any extra tools that we might need, and I'll show you how we do it. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing is extending this sprinkler all the way down over to this corner here, because there is where all my sprinklers, nothing touches right here, and so this grass is just getting chewed up by the sun. I got some sprinklers down there, which is why the grass looks a little bit better, but nothing's helping right here. The next thing we'll be doing is moving this sprinkler all the way down to the fence line. Right now it's shooting like this at 180 to pattern, but I want to move it down to the fence line and shoot it back the other way at a 90-degree pattern facing back towards us. The sprinkler head down here is a little more straightforward. I planned on doing this when I installed it. This is just capped right here, so I'll just cut this, add a coupler, extend this half-inch pipe all the way down the road, and I might have to throw in an elbow right here and bring it back to be able to. I want my sprinkler head pretty close to this corner so that I can get all this area. All right, just got back from Home Depot, and right when I went to start working, it starts raining. But I got hopefully all the supplies I need, other than I realized I needed a 90. This is a 180, so I'll have to go back to Home Depot and replace that. It was in the wrong box and I didn't check. They never have all the right fittings you need, so you're gonna have to step down or step up depending on if you're at a half-inch pipe or a three-quarter pipe. I'm working with both. Out by the street, this is just going to be half-inch pipe, and in the yard I can reuse that sprinkler, but it's a three-quarter pipe, so I had to step up to a bigger size. Other than that, you'll need some primer and cement, Teflon tape, and then I got my half-inch pipe and my three-quarter pipe. I also went ahead and got this PVC cutter. I've never used this one before, but the one I had was pretty old, so I went ahead and got a new one. And I got various fittings, so couplers to tie the pipes together, and some 90s. So just depends on what you're working with. You'll need to get different fittings. I've already determined that I got to go back to Home Depot to get the right sprinkler, so if I need anything else, I'll get it then. All right, it took me about 20 minutes to dig the ditch. I'm not going very deep because what I have to connect it to in my flower bed is not very deep. I basically just got it laying right under the mulch, because when I put it in, I figured that I'd be doing this at some point. So it's just laying right there. I'm actually going to try and feed the pipe under that garden fabric so I don't have to even cut into that. It's still raining on and off, so I can't video a whole lot, but I did a dry fit on my piping and got that measured up pretty good. So now I'm just going to um, take my Teflon tape and go ahead and start Tefloning every threaded piece, and I'll go ahead and start working in the cement on the piping. All right, well, I'm back out here this morning, and it rained pretty much all evening and night, so I wasn't able to film a whole lot. This is the tee that was originally there. I got my ditch all dug and the pipe laid in, and I did everything in the rain. So I'm checking this morning to see if it, all stayed together after I glued it. I can tell that this flex pipe, which was originally there, is not going to hold. I tried to use the flex pipe because this is at a lower angle than than where I'm laying this pipe. This is an old pipe that's in the ground that I couldn't really go below, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to connect these two. But everything else should be good. We can go down here and check this joint. So again, like I was saying, they didn't have the exact fittings that I needed to connect this right into the slip. I had to do a bunch of different fittings and step downs to get from 3/4 inch to the 1/2 inch. The sprinkler that I was trying to relocate down here by the sidewalk was a little more straightforward. This just connected pretty good, and I left it exposed. So I'm gonna test it this morning. I ran it underneath as much of the landscape fabric as I could. And again, this one doesn't need to be very deep. This is just at a 90. When you're putting in pipe, you want to try to do as little or as few 90s or curves or bends as possible. You want it always just to be a straight line. Anytime you have a joint, that's just more chance of the pipe being compromised. But this should be okay. And again, I had to do all these little joints just to get back to be able to fit in. And this is just going to be a 90 pattern. I did, since it was raining, I wasn't able to work. I went ahead and went back to Home Depot and got the correct sprinkler. And I double checked that it is a 90 pattern this time. So I'm going to go ahead and test this one and fill this dirt in. This will be done, and then I'll work on the one in the yard. So I went ahead and tested everything. I wanted to see if there was any other leaks besides this one here. I thought this was going to be an issue, but actually on high pressure, there was no leaks here. So I think what I'm seeing is just the flex of the actual flex pipe, and the glue and cement held fine. I mean, this joint goes all the way up to halfway, so I think we're good to fill it up. So I'm gonna start filling up this ditch, and I'm gonna turn the sprinklers back on and get wet again, to be able to see exactly the angle and pattern of the sprinkler spray. But all right, so this turned out pretty good. Finally got the ditch put back together. I definitely should have mowed before I dug the ditch, because then it rained, and now the grass is like an inch taller than it was when I started. The sprinkler is in and looks pretty good. Other than the pattern does bottom into the fence. I put it a little too close to the fence. It actually on both sides goes further than 180, so it was hard for me to really compensate that, but I did want it as close to the fence as I could get. You'll see right here that it hits the fence a little bit, but I'm not really worried about it because it does the same thing on the other side. Unless I brought it out, 2 feet, there wasn't much I could do, but it does cover really nicely, and they meet um, right here in the yard, in the center of the yard. All three of them meet. So now let's go check out the one by the street. So this one's covering pretty nicely as well. It's kind of hard to see the pattern, but it's a nice 90-degree pattern, and it covers that entire corner the way that I wanted. I had to leave this one sticking up a little bit too because I couldn't dig down far enough with the concrete, but that's okay. And then I stuck a little block in there until the soil can settle, just so it wasn't wobbling around, and hopefully it doesn't get ran over as we're going in the driveway. But that's all I can do for now. But it does cover this area really nicely. All right, well that was the video. Sorry I couldn't get much additional footage of actually digging the ditch and everything. It was just raining the whole time. But hopefully you like the video, and I'm gonna try to be putting out more videos like this whenever we're doing stuff around the house, and hopefully installing our garden beds and boxes soon. So appreciate everybody watching.